Come in here. Come in here. Come in here.
We're gonna keep
Come in here.
Who cares?
No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
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 Are you ready? Okay. So, we're going to talk about a 12 TD today. The meat and potatoes of buying and selling sprayers, tank size and boom size. So this machine is 3,330 gallons on the tank, 160 feet on the boom. Any of the boom sizes, they're all interchangeable with what our VL is, or self-propelled. It's the exact same part numbers, the exact same options. So your 160 feet is our biggest, 150, 133.33, and 120. The tank size is always going to be the poly tank at 3,330 gallons. If you look at the middle of it, there's a split right down the middle here. So what this means is this tank back here will empty first, keeps all the weight on the front end of the machine, right? So better in hills, keeps traction on the back end of your sprayer. After this tank is empty, then your front tank will empty, right? To carry around this much weight, every other sprayer, pull type sprayer on the market, right, is going to have a single axle. Okay, so by putting a double axle on here, we have better weight distribution of this big tank size. The weight of this fully loaded at 3,300 gallons is roughly the same weight as our self-propelled machine fully loaded. So when you minus off the cab, the engine, the frame, right, we're about the same weight as a 2,100 gallon machine loaded or a 1,600 gallon John Deere loaded. So we hear a lot about compaction on the tires, stuff like that. So we put big tires on them. These are 650s, the tires. We also have an option to run 380 skinny row crop tires if you want to spray chickpeas or potatoes or something like that. We can also do 900s or 1100s. So we can put big, fat, wide tires on this thing if we want. It has tire pressure control on it, so you can see the valve coming in here, the electronics. What this means is when I hit the road switch and go onto the road, it'll automatically increase the pressure of the tires to whatever I want. When I go into the field, I go back into field mode, it'll decrease the pressure of these tires to whatever I set it at. It also has an automatic pressure control system, so as the tank level empties or fills up, it'll adjust the tire pressure accordingly. So as you're emptying this tank out, as you're driving through the field, right, it's going to be reducing the pressure of these tires. So better compaction on the ground if you have less tire pressure. Look at our side fill station here next. So if I want to fill the sprayer, I hook up right here and I open this valve. Nothing else you need to do. Just hook up 3-inch, it's a Banjo 3-inch line. So identical to any self-propelled machine on the market right now. Nothing you have to change. Fill right here. That's to fill the 3,330 gallons on the main tank. If I want to fill my rinse tank, this valve right here. So it's a 2-inch line. Again, same as all the North American self-propelled sprayers. You hook up onto the 2-inch line, open this valve right here. That goes to my rinse tank. If you happen to have a European style farm where they have a 1-inch fill for their rinse tank, you have this valve right here. You can fill the rinse tank through the 1-inch fill right here. Okay, if I want to suck in, so say I'm pulled up beside a dugout and I want to suck in using the sprayer pump, I can hook up that 3-inch line right to here and open this valve. And then I would turn it on up here at this monitor. And then the sprayer pump would start and it would fill my whole main tank. But if this line right here is full of air, every other sprayer on the market can't suck an empty line out. It's full of air. The centrifugal pump won't catch prime. On this sprayer, if that happens, the second pump, which is our clean out pump, is a diaphragm pump. It can suck air, right? It'll suck all the air out of the line first. As soon as our main product pump catches prime, then it switches over to the other pump. The other valves we have right here, this valve right here, we can pump out under pressure. So if we want to, pump out the liquid fertilizer and pump on herbicide if we don't finish a job, you can hook up a 2-inch line right here and pump it out. Underneath, we have a dump valve underneath here, which is this guy right here. If I want to dump my tank, I open this valve right here. Good. If I want to use my fill station, we could turn this on after. I'll show you how it all works. This is the 35-liter stainless steel. We also have an option for a 50-liter, so it just makes this bigger, right? You have a rinse nozzle inside here. You have a gun right here. And And then you have suction for whatever's inside the hopper. And if I flip this valve around the other way like this, it'll suck in whatever's hooked up onto this line right here. So I can suck a tote of Roundup or a tote of Liberty through this line right here. But majority of the time, I'm mixing up on my trailer and I'm dumping in through here. But if you're using this machine instead of using a spray trailer, right? So if you're always filling at home in the yard, if your spray trailer is out with a different sprayer, right? You don't need a second spray trailer. All I need is a fresh water source. I can suck in through this line right here. I can dump jugs and granular into here, and I can suck in a tote through here. So you don't necessarily need a trailer with a handler, right? We got storage for chemical gloves. You can put up here. And another storage over here. Fresh water, if you want to wash your hands, fill this up with the garden hose in the yard. Then you have fresh water right here. And then you got soap right there. Good. The tanks themselves both have floats inside them. So it's a digital tank level. There's no sight tubes on the machine. So when you're filling, you're not looking at a sight tube. It's going to show you the level in tank 1 and tank 2, but they both fill at the same time. You just have to make sure your agitation is running while you're filling, because it will mix up in between the two tanks. So if you look at these tires here, this tire right here, and we'll drive it around in a bit and show you, but it'll follow in the same track as your back tires of the tractor. This tire right here will follow in the same tracks as the front tires of the tractor. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
As soon as
back on the front.
Correct.
Okay.
As soon as you back the tractor up in reverse, the sprayer senses that, and it takes both those tires and puts them in a straight line, so you can back up straight. So if you back into corners, you'll line it up perfect. Take a look behind the sprayer here. Hope you guys can get in here and see this. But inside here we have hydraulic cylinders that control your axles. You have air brakes, right? So if this hooks up to your tractor, it'll hook up to the air brakes that are on your tractor. If you don't have air on your tractor and air brakes, you can use hydraulic brakes instead and order it with hydraulic brakes. This tank back here is a third tank. This is 210 gallons of fresh water. So we have a freshwater tank in the back. If you look at the suspension down there, this is hydraulic suspension on each axle, right? So the hydraulics that you need to run on this machine, just the one load sense or Power Beyond line. You're not going to use any of the remotes. All the hydraulics, the suspension, the boom control, the pump control, it's all run off the Power Beyond load sense.
You need at least 40.
At least 40 gallons a minute is all you need. You have one external remote. It'll just be for the hitch of the tractor up and down when you're hooking it up. Okay. You look at our boom control system back here. Your center rack all moves independently, just like our VL does. So it's the identical boom control. Everything is the same on the boom. Okay. We have the big fenders on it to cover the wider tires. The cover behind your tires to catch all the mud. The boom height control system, again, is identical to our self-propelled. There's 8 sensors along this boom, so 4 per side. We don't waste a sensor in the middle, because it's very rare that you would ever hit something on the middle, right? The sensors all need to be on the outside. We'll go take a look at the boom. It's a double truss design.
Do you still have the extensions like the VL does?
For the
VL?
What do you mean? Which
Like
extension?
it has extensions.
If you go to 900s.
Yeah.
For the fender extender? No,
Yeah.
because if you go to 900s or 1100s on this machine, very rare that you would switch the tires on a pull type to skinny tires. So it's kind of one or the other for the tire size on a pull type. So usually if we're going to go skinny tires on this guy, it comes with skinny tires. If we're going to go fat tires on it, it'll come with fat tires.
But the fender is always the same size.
The fender will be either skinny or wide.
Okay.
So when you spec it out, you'll pick one or the other.
Yeah.
So the VL will have that double option
Yeah.
where it's kind of split down the middle. You can just take it off.
Yeah.
But I don't predict many guys will be flipping tires mid-season on this thing, because we're not going to run it in tall crop unless it's with the 380s, right? So all the wire harnesses, everything's identical to our self-propelled, so everything's nice and clean inside. We have the outside flex points right here, just like the self-propelleds. We'll look at that on the other side of the boom though. Our breakaway is right here. We have just that over-center design on the breakaway. See how that works. So it breaks back and up. So when you hit something, hit a tree, it's going to slide along this rubber bounce plate right here, right? You're going to keep driving forward. Once you're past it, it just flows back into place just like that. Same thing on the other side. Like this. So our outside boom sensor is right here on the tip, and it's on a slide, right? So we can slide this in or out. If we have a lot of trees right on the edge of our fence line, you know, you can move this sensor in a little bit. But if you're in big hills, I take this sensor and I move it right here to the end, so you're not hitting anything, right? But for flatland Manitoba like this, you know, it's not necessary to have it right on the edge where the weeds are on the edge of your field. If you look at our breakaway now, this is a new option for this year. We're putting this skid plate right here on the bottom. So when it hits, the first thing that hits is going to be this skid, right? If you turn this 160 boom too sharp with a super low boom, you have a chance that this outside piece here could go backwards, right? The sensors are all angled forwards, looking forwards. So if you turn sharp, this boom is going to go backwards. That's why you put this bar here on the back to protect all these nozzles. So that's new for this year too. Any questions so far? Nope. So the stainless steel pipe on the top here, this is our return line for the boom recirculation. So same as our VL, again, you have boom recirculation. We got a cover on the back rack just to keep things clean back here. So underneath we have our second pressure filter. Again, this is all the exact same thing as the VL or the self-propelled. The pressure filter cleans itself out. So every time you get to a headland, right, these filters, depending on the position of your valve here, the one in the front is electronic. It'll automatically, you know, rinse out that filter every headland. This one's constantly flushing whatever's in here back up to the top of the tank into a dome filter. So it's reflushing this filter out every headland. On the back here, we have air. So if we want to blow out some tips, if we plug them, we got compressed air. This cylinder right here, this is your folding cylinder. It's a double acting cylinder though. The other half of it is our damping. So when you make a sharp turn or you speed up or slow down fast, this gauge right here is trying to stay right in the middle all the time. So this hydraulic cylinder is keeping your boom straight when you're speeding up or slowing down or going up and down big hills.
Is that just based on accumulators?
It's based on accumulators on your center rack up here, but also this sensor right here.
Oh, I see.
So it's always sensing the position of where this rack is based on that potentiometer right there.
Yeah.
Right? And it's always trying to keep it in that straight position. So if you turn really sharp with a 160 boom, and you get that thing moving, right? This cylinder right here is always trying to keep the boom in the right place. Here's our outside flex. You can see the flex point is maxed out here. So these outside two sensors on this point here will control the boom up and down. The inside two sensors are controlling the boom inside lift and the center rack. You look at our nozzle control system here. Right now I have 3 different types of tips. This is a 4-2 10-inch nozzle spacing. So right now I have 20-inch spacing between this tip right here and this tip right here. In between I have another set of nozzles on the 2 position, right, that give me 10-inch nozzle spacing. So most sprayers, North American sprayers, are all going to be running with 20-inch spacing. So the advantage of 10-inch nozzle spacing is, number one, we can run more nozzles, which gives us a bigger range of speed, bigger range of rate and pressure, but also allows us to run lower to the ground and really reduce the drift. So the nozzles I picked for this unit here, this purple nozzle is running a twin fan like this. All 4 of these nozzles here right beside it are running flat fans like this. So what that means is the pattern looks like this, like this, like this. So what that's giving you, if I'm a wheat head right here, right? Sprayer's running this direction. The twin fan's gonna hit it from this side. The back side of this twin fan hits it from this side. The flat fans hit it from the other two sides. So it's like a 360-degree coverage of that plant or that weed, right? I don't ever have to walk back here and change nozzles. So what that means, you know, I type in the rate in the cab on the tractor. You never walk back here and change these tips. It automatically picks the tips for you for whatever speed, whatever rate you're doing. With these tips that are on it right now, we can do anywhere from, you know, 3 to 20 miles an hour and 5 to 25 gallons per acre with the perfect pressure, the perfect rate. So don't have to change anything back here. With the tank size like this, it makes a lot of sense for guys doing high rate liquid fertilizer. In that case, what I would do, I probably remove 3 of these tips right here and put on 3 different liquid fertilizer stream caps. So what that means, I could have one, my smallest cap on, the next biggest, and then any combination of those 3 to give me a huge range of speed and rate for liquid fertilizer as well. Without having to leave the cab, I could switch from fertilizer to herbicide.
And then wide drops to just plug into one.
Correct. So if you want a wide drop, say on 30-inch spacing, right? I would come out here to my end. I put my wide drop all the way out here. On the first one, I would block off the next 2. Put my next wide drop right over here, 30 inches over.
Okay.
So you could select, you know, just my yellow position, put wide drops on the yellow, but then I'd have to block off this guy right here, just a cap.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can wide drop with the pull type. But we do have some guys doing that. Let's take a look at the front. So first 2 sensors for the boom height control. That one's out there on the end. We have this one right here, sensor number 2. Sensor number 3 is right here. And we have sensor number 4. So on this side, we have 2 more air tanks. What these are for, the reservoirs for our tire pressure control system. If you don't order it with the tire pressure control, these 2 air tanks will not be here. Okay, so you have 2 more air tanks that are underneath the machine. That's just for your auto select system and the air brakes. Okay, this pump right here is a secondary cleaning pump. So it's the diaphragm pump, just like the VL, that cleans out the whole machine. So it does a continuous rinse system. This pump here will suck water out of the back tank, which is your fresh water tank, rinse into both of your main tanks, and at the same time, your centrifugal pump, which is mounted below this pump at the bottom, will pump out the dirty water through your nozzles. Just a faster clean out. Every machine will come with this toolbox. So inside here, we've put labels, all the part numbers that's inside the toolbox. They're all labeled here. We have all of the air fittings that are on the machine, extra fence row nozzles, O-rings, gaskets. Underneath we have the extra air lines and hose clamps and more gaskets. So just a nice touch. You break down, you don't want to have to go get a bunch of extra parts.
Don't have to go to PV Mart.
Exactly.
Oh no, that's an egg pack.
And it's bankrupt.
We also have in here a bunch of extra tips, but you know, that depends on each sprayer deal, whatever you want to put on.
Yeah.
Good. All of our electronics and all of our control system is all mounted in here inside this storage box. So it keeps it out of the rain, keeps it out of the dust, right? Everything's protected inside here.
How is it powered? Just through ISO?
Yes. So when you're doing the hookup, we'll go look at the back of the tractor next. Show you how to hook it up. First of all, you have these 2 hydraulic lines right here. So that'll be so say if this thing was just sitting in the yard and you wanted to hook a tractor to it, right? You hook these 2 guys up first to your first remote. Okay? Then just run the remote, and that's going to bring your jack down underneath. If you look underneath here, you have a hydraulic jack. Okay? So then once the jack is down, right? Or up, sorry, once you're hooked up, the next thing you'd hook up is your air brakes. So you hook up the yellow first, then the red. That activates your air for the brakes. You have your ISO connector, and you have your power connector. Okay? The other one you have to hook up is this guy right here, which is your road switch. So this switch right here, usually we mount it in the cab, right? But in this case, it's outside. If I'm in road mode, I go down like this. That means the booms don't work anymore. Everything is locked out, okay? Field position is like that. And then you have your power beyond, right? Your load sense for the hydraulics, and that's it. So none of the remotes are being used right now because we unhooked our hitch right here. So a lot of other machines that have four-wheel steering and controlled steering, they have an extra adapter here on the hitch. This is all still standard North American style hitch, right? Where it's just like hooking up a grain cart, right? It's very simple to hook up there. You can order it if you want with the K80 style ball hitch, but most North American tractors will look like this, right? Any questions?
You were saying before hydraulic hitch. What did you mean by that?
The drop down right here.
Okay.
So instead of having a jack, right,
Okay.
to hold the machine up,
Yep.
you'll have a hydraulic hitch there.
Okay. Okay.
If you have so with that hydraulic suspension, you can also adjust it from the cab. If I take my back axle,
Yep.
sink it all the way up, right, so the machine tips backwards, it'll actually sit on the back end of the machine, right,
Okay.
and you won't have to use the hitch. The suspension will just tip it all backwards
So you could park it
with no hitch,
with no hitch.
or with no jack, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, but really I don't do it that way. I level this out. So what that is for, why you have that adjustment on the hydraulic suspension, is based on the height of your tractor hitch,
Okay. Yeah.
right? So once it's hooked up, we level it out to make sure it's all sitting level in the field. Any other questions?
Does all of them come standard with poly?
Yes, we did have a stainless steel option in the past. You know, when the TD12 first came out, didn't have a huge take rate on it, so it's just poly right now. It saves a lot of cost, a lot of weight. Unless you need a stainless steel, but I don't think many people will. Right, you guys want to come in here again? I'll show you how the cam handler works. So we'll see if we can get wet now. You want to zoom into this right here, Daniel? We'll show you how the monitor all works. This is the exact same thing as the VL for filling. Nothing really changes. The only thing that's different is there is no external fill button, which would usually be right here. Okay? So if I want to fill this thing, what do I have to do first? Hook up my 3-inch line to where? Right down here. So all I do if I want to fill, hook up fresh water to right here and open the valve and start filling in. Start my pump on the trailer, right? What if I don't have a pump on the trailer? What do I do? Suck it in. Suck it in. So I hook up to right here. Once I hook up to here, I have to have a number inside on these two boxes, right? If I want to fill it all the way up to the max, I would just hit the up and down arrow until I get to max and then hit enter. And it's going to say I need another, 2,200 gallons to get me up to that 3,100 gallon max level, right? It will suck in more after that, but for automatic, it goes up to there. Yep. Okay. Or I could program in whatever numbers I want on these two boxes, right? So if I only need, say, 2,000 gallons, I can program that number in there for the field. For the field, you have two different levels it can stop at, right? If I'm never using the suction quick fill though, if I'm pumping on with an external pump, I set both of these to 0 just so it never turns off automatically, right? So, set these both to 0, just like that. These two numbers up here, that's my main tank level. So we have about 1,000 gallons or 965 gallons in the main tank. I have 232 gallons right now in my rinse tank. The rinse tank's all the way full. Exactly. So when I want to suck in, I would hit this button right here. If I had a number in here, it would suck in through this line right here. Okay? If I hold this button down, this will suck the line dry through here. So after it's already full, if I hold this down, it sucks in all the way. Okay? This button right here is my agitation. So it's very important as you're filling to be agitated because you need the two tanks to mix up. So as soon as I hook onto my fresh water, I would turn on my agitation right away. Now you can hear my pump kicked on, right? You can hear the electronic valves opening and it's agitating. You have 3 different levels of agitation. You can hear that sound change every time I hit this. There, that pump opens wide open now, right? If I want to see my agitation pressure, I go to this page right here. Now you can see my pump's running 113 PSI, my agitation's 107. If I want to turn it down, go back to that same page now. Now you can see your pressure drops down to 0 on both of them, right?
Just something pushing like a hot tub kind of thing.
Kind of, yeah, same thing. So just how much pressure is running through that pump, how much that valve opens, and also how much hydraulic flow is going to the pump. So other buttons we have on the main page, we have our chem handler. So we'll show you how that works now. So if I have, say, fresh water coming in here, and I want to mix granular and jugs into here now, okay? All you have to do, you don't have to turn on anything in the cab. I just got to hit this button right here. If I hit it, it's going to run at 116 psi, which is pretty high. Yeah. So I'm going to turn that down so we don't make a big mess here. If I'm dumping granular in, maybe I go lower pressure. If I'm sucking in through here, I'll probably go higher pressure because it can't make a mess, right? So we'll turn that down right now. So we'll go at, say, 30 psi. Then I hit this button right here. The valve is now open, and now this guy's active. You hear the pump kicked on, right?
Yeah.
So you just look at these guys on the top. It's going to show you what each one is. This bottom one's my bottom rinse, my top rinse, sorry. You can see it spinning around like this, okay? The next one right here, the red guy, is your bottom rinse. You see him down there, okay? If I want to suck in whatever's inside the chem handler, I spin this guy around. Now it sucks in whatever's in the bottom. It's pretty slow because I'm on super low pressure on this guy, right? So the next thing I'm going to do is amp up the pressure right here. Right? Now it goes fast. So now I'm sucking in because this valve's still open. I'm going to turn this guy on. Feel the pressure goes a lot harder now, right? So it's mixing around, hitting this metal guy in the middle. If I'm mixing granular, if I turn the top one on, it's going to make like a vortex inside there and spin it, right? Close my valve, it's going to increase. Open my bottom one. See the mix is making inside there now, right? If I want, I can use this guy too. Okay? Like that. Now to suck this in, again I hit this guy like this, and it sucks it down. At the same time I can be running the gun and rinse it all in there. Spray your feet. I had some Hutterites that use this and they're spraying the vineyard. This is mixing whatever's inside your main tank is now what's mixing inside here. Right? So what that means though is I don't necessarily always want to be using mixed chemical through this because I want to rinse it out. So let's say we got all the chemical in here. I can then rinse my jugs out if I activate this top one.
Yeah.
That activates this guy right here. So if I push down on this, it would spray water up like that. Right? If I flip this valve around, it would suck in the totes through here. Okay? But if I want fresh water coming through here, I go hit this button. Now, what that means is this is activated but with fresh water. So when I turn on any of these valves here, right, this is going to be coming out with water out of my rinse tank instead of my main tank. And then you can clean out everything and suck it all back in. Right? Then you can wash your boots. Exactly. Now you can see my rinse tank level is getting lower. Transferring this water into my main tank. Right? Turn that off. Now it's going to suck from the main tank again. And then to turn it off, I just hit power. Just like that. Then you're done filling. So you can clean everything out on every fill by transferring from your main tank to your rinse tank on the suction side of this guy, right? Any questions about that? Good.
And that's standard.
This is standard.
Chem inductor, that's just
Standard.
Yep.
It's stainless steel as an option. And it gets a bit bigger, up to 50 liters on the big one, right? So other options that are on here, other buttons. This is how you clean the machine out. So it's identical to the VL. It's one button to clean out. If I hit this button right now, it's using whatever is in the main tank and it's opening up every electronic valve and cleaning everything out on the sprayer. So you can see now our timer starts. It's going to rinse the tank first and it's going to open up all my agitation valves. So it's doing a full clean out. Every cycle is about 3 minutes. To clean this sprayer out, it's just over 10 minutes in a full rinse tank. 30 gallons, 10 minutes of time on this thing to dump. But you can do it while you're driving down the road, right? That turns it off. Other buttons we have, once they not grayed out here. So if I want to transfer fresh water over to my main tank, I can hit this button right here, and it would transfer from this tank into this tank. If I want to dump, I can hit this button right here, the whole tank dumps out. If you want to winterize it, you hit the snowflake button right here, winterizes the whole spray. Good. That's it. So now we're going to use the cell phone app to check all of our nozzles. So we've hit the pump button on, we've connected to the Wi-Fi, the Horsch Connect. Go ahead and hit the master switch button right beside it. And let's turn on, say, the green nozzle, turn off the orange nozzle, and turn on that purple nozzle. And then hit the nozzle button at the very bottom. Good. Now we can go outside and start testing our nozzles remotely. Hit the start button there. Good. And now it's spraying onto that outside section. So we're going to go out there and take a look now. Okay. Let's go take a look. So you can hit the over buttons on the app and you can check each section one at a time. So you can see what I'm trying to do with that. I don't know if you can see it in the light right now, but that alternating nozzle pattern, I have a flat fan going right down the middle and then twin fans coming in front and behind the flat fan. So now we're at 160 feet. You know, we're in flat ground, Manitoba, around Winkler right now. This is no challenge for this boom on flat ground, but it still has the flex if we need it. But it stays completely stable, even though we bounce around a bit here in the tractor. And then we have our tank back there, 3,330. So we got the 160 pull type going here. See, it's got the 10-inch nozzle spacing. See, the flex is working through a little bit of a low spot there. So as we make our turns, right, we speed up or slow down, you'll see it switch nozzles. So a little bit faster there, Dennis. See it switch just like that. Perfect. And speed up a bit more. There it switches again. Now we're on a twin fan nozzle and a flat fan. Now we're back to another twin fan. Just like that. Hey, how fast are we going, Martin?
20 miles per hour.
That's 20. That's pretty fast for a 160 boom. It's 3,300 gallons. I don't know if I'd spray like this, but this is a flat field too, but the boom stays completely stable. Even though, you know, we're bouncing around a little bit up here. Now we're slowing down. I'll show you how this boom whips when we slow down. That's back down to turning speed. We're at 6 miles an hour.